comes to being nature, and especially camping with our children, I get a lot of pushback when I kind of first mention this to parents. Or maybe not pushback, but more a belief. I can't do that. I could never do that. That sounds way too hard. And I'm here to share just a little bit with you about how that is not true, and it is. My name is Christy Whistler. I am an intuitive, a channel, an astrologer, and I am the parent of 2 magical, multi-dimensional kids. I'm right now filming this at the Redwoods, so please excuse the shaking camera a little bit. I'm trying my best to hold it steady. And in this video, I just wanted to share a little bit with you about what it is like taking your kids camping and how it is such a magical and challenging experience, and why. Now, I've been doing this camping since Eric is about 18 months old and Kate was about 4. And they are now almost 10 and 7. He's 7. So I've been doing this for a minute, and we've, as much as we can, we go camping once a month because it is so supportive, definitely for Eric and for me too. So I can show up for them because nature is so grounding for me. Being away from the cities and the fast-paced world and all that, like, I need nature so I can show up from this calmer, more lined space where I'm better able to really sit with them and to hold them as they move through what's struggling with them. And I can't do any of that if I'm the one who's overwhelmed, anxious, full of fear. So that's why we come here. I mean, that's just a tidbit of why we come here. There's a whole lot more to it, but I'll just start with that. Now, it's not easy. I do this solo parenting for the most part. I am incredibly privileged and blessed that I am able to homeschool my kids, and I am able to make this our classroom. I understand not everyone can do that. And I understand that for some people, like, this is not your calling, and that's all okay. But for those of you who you might see these videos that I'm taking of the Redwoods or the future nature places that I'll take you, and you're like, gosh, I want to do that too. I want to have that connection with my kids and with nature. Or I want to watch them playing through, like, these hollowed out redwood trees from fire scars, and wow, have that be their classroom. Have that be their playground. So for those of you, this is just a little video of, yes, you can do it. And yes, it is challenging. There are definitely practical things, and I feel like that's another video in itself of how I'm able to manage this with more ease and grace, so I can have, like, this moment where I'm sitting here on this elk meadow with elk behind me in the background. And I'm not running around like a crazy person trying to get everything done. So there's some practical things that I can share with you on another video. But this one, I want to talk about surrendering. Because you're right, this is not easy. Being in nature is not easy. And the reason is because you don't have control. Let me say that again. You don't have control. Nature has continually been, I was going to say my children's, especially Eric's greatest teacher. But the truth is she's been my greatest teacher as well. When I come out here, I can't control if there's sunshine. I can't control if it rains. I can't control my children in the same way that I do at home because I'm in an environment that is uncontrollable by humans. And that means that I, as a parent, have to get really comfortable letting go and surrendering to what is. And 100%, that is the complete opposite of our Western civilization, how many of us have been trained in our school systems, educational process, even like how we go and get jobs and how our jobs are situated and structured. This is exactly opposite of that. You have to let go. And I'm looking off to the side because I'm like, do I have to let go of filming this video in one shot as Eric is like trying to get into the bear bin and he can't do it on his own? But he let that go, and right now he's not needing my help. So, right? Bonus. Maybe I get to continue, maybe I won't. But I won't resist. Or I am both learning to not resist, and I have learned because I'm not done. In fact, every single time I come out here with my kids, I am being offered another opportunity to learn, to change, to grow. And this trip is no different. Usually, for us, it's day 2. The first day you get to your spot, there is stress from me because there's the setting up, and usually I'm doing it all by myself, though I'm slowly like nudging and pushing Kate along to help too. And I am also verbally sharing with her my frustrations, okay, when she doesn't help, so I have less patience, okay, I'm trying my best, that kind of being open and communicative and still trying to hold that calm space while also acknowledging I'm human and I am the only adult doing it all by myself, okay? So this is not about denying my frustrations either. That's really important. But day 2 is usually when the big energies start to move. And even as I'm speaking this, I'm feeling there's so much support and love that I can feel coming up through the ground beneath me, the land around me. Yeah, it feels really beautiful. Almost kind of like this, I know, and I've got you kind of message. Like, yes, it is challenging, and I'm also completely supported in those moments, even if I can't always see it or believe it, because wow, I've had those too. Sorry, like all of a sudden my throat got super needing to clear this, and maybe it's not just for me that I'm clearing this, it feels like I can also be clearing it for some of you as well as I tune into that. but on this particular trip, our day 2 was actually a lot calmer than it has been, and I think the Redwoods itself has a different energy for us. It has a different energy for Eric. I feel like this feels like home to my soul, and I think it feels like home for him too. So we did this big trail of hiking, big hiking trail for us, and Eric was running up ahead on this trail, just so comfortable. And then it started to shift, and he started to kind of have like a harder and harder time with his energy. He saw a dead garden snake on the trail and got super scared, and that kind of like started that cascade of trigger of being able to handle the energy less and less, and touched some stinging nettle, and that really upset him. And then he couldn't suck his thumb because he was using that hand to apply the sting relief pad to his other hand. Yeah, and there's my kids in the tent. I really might need to make this a 2 video. No, that's just Eric, so we're still okay. Anyways, so Eric just kind of really started to spiral and struggle with his energy. And it was like he became less and less able to cope, is what it was. And then Kate was starting to get super emotional. She was getting really upset. Oh, this trail was only supposed to be this long, and like really upset. Or she finally realized that we were going to be here for a full 7 days because this is such a long drive, and just completely upset, crying, like so disappointed. Big tears, big emotions moving through her. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. This has been on the calendar for 6 months that we were going to be here for 7 days. It's not my fault. You never paid attention or listened or let it sink in. So that was her. And then for me, I had this huge just door opening of my own unconscious beliefs that I've been carrying and holding on to. And it's actually about my new spiritual intuitive awakening that's been happening. My soul gifts that have really coming online this past 2.5 years specifically. And there are people in my life who I dearly love, who are important to me, who I haven't really opened up and shared with them, because I'm carrying deep fears around rejection and abandonment. And yet, I can't not share who I am in this part of me, because it is me. And by not speaking it and holding it back, I'm denying part of myself. So that was huge emotions that I had to really sit with and move through and just cry as I went into those feelings, as I went into those parts of my soul that have been carrying this, and I have been reacting unconsciously from these fears and these beliefs. And it's that awareness that is going to allow me to get to the treasure on the other side, which in this case is my more fuller alignment of who I am. That I can have clean relationships with people and get to a space of, you don't have to believe in me. You don't have to agree with me. And I can be okay with that. And I can still hold and honor me. So it's this beautiful balancing act between that, especially with, not with strangers are kind of like whatever, right? But people who knew me before this awakening journey that my kids have taken me on. Who don't know that I go doing sound channel for earth places, right? So it's, and I had to surrender. I should probably start wrapping up this video because I can feel that he's starting to ramp up a little bit and get antsy. But that is this example of what surrendering is. As a parent, I could have been really holding my ground, no, Kate, this is what I said to you, stop crying. It's not my fault you didn't listen, right? The typical things that we would say as parents. And the same with Eric, right? In his upset and his frustration. I could have resisted what he was going through instead of being like, well, I'm trying to help you. That's why we need to keep walking so we can get to the bathroom and wash your hands with soap and water to clear off the taste there that you don't like. And I could been resistance to my own experience. I could have very easily projected all that hurt and fear onto my children who are with me. And so when you are in nature and life gets still and slow, it is this opportunity for these deeper things to bubble up to the surface, and the opportunity for you to look at them and to ask, what here is meant for me to learn of, to learn from, so I can get to the gifts on the other side. Because frankly, I'm ready to let go of this fear that's keeping me ungrounded. This fear that is keeping me from being in alignment. This fear that's holding back this new beginning and the joy of what is on the other side, but also in the experience itself. So yes, being in nature, I get it. It's challenging and it's scary. And it's scary because nature asks you to look at yourself. And that's not something everyone is willing or even able to do. Because it's not easy sometimes. And yet, I can speak from in my experience, it has always been worth it. So thank you so much for tuning in and the forgiveness of this, I've got no makeup on, I've got camping braided hair, and I'm on a sort of handheld tripod stand. So I appreciate you for watching and for being here, for being willing to hold a new space and a new partnership with your kids, but also with nature. So please like and subscribe, share this video, and let me know in the comments below what you think. Have you been strong enough and brave enough to really venture into camping with your children and been willing to surrender, to let go and stop controlling everything they do? Let me know what your experience is. I would love to hear from you.
don't hit it out. Please don't run.
That's right, we don't hit the elk and we don't run because that will scare them. Can you see the elk, Eric? Do you see them?
Yes.
Do you see them over there or did they move?
Whatever.
Oh, they might have moved. Let's see if I can find them. Oh, they moved. There's some male ones all the way in the back.